40 years prior, another superstar had a commercial for Christmas Day.
I think Air Jordan this season. By Nike.
Now, as you know, the Caitlin Clark commercial aired during the football games on Netflix, aired during the basketball games on ESPN, ABC. The Nike commercial came at the perfect time as far as Christmas release goes. All the past commercials they've dropped over the last 5 to 10 years, this Caitlin Clark From Anywhere campaign seems to be the most creative that Nike has been.
40 years to the day. Michael Jordan's first Christmas ad, which debuted the Air Jordan 1 and subtly altered sports culture forever, was released by Nike on December 25, 1985. Leap to Chicago now. December 25, 2024. The Caitlin Clark From Anywhere campaign is released by Nike. The similarity is clear and intentional. Nike doesn't play games with such dates. However, this is the part that goes unnoticed. This year, a different Nike athlete also got a commercial. Additionally, the difference is striking when the two are placed side by side. Let's take our time and examine what was displayed. The commercial by A.A. Wilson reverses a nursery rhyme that almost everyone heard as a child. Her name is repeated, a few words are switched, and that's pretty much the whole notion. Very nothing is contributed beyond the reference itself, and the idea ends practically immediately after it begins. Now contrast it with Caitlin Clark's position. Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce are visible. Travis Scott arrives. Michael Che from Saturday Night Live shows up. Stephanie White, her current coach, and Lisa Bluer, her college coach, are present. The Attack, the boys' basketball team in the background wearing attack shirts, and references to her AAU team are just a few of the subtle allusions to her history. The first scene is also important. Since she spent many hours shooting there as a child, it begins on a driveway. One advertisement has the feel of a thorough dive created by a staff that is focused and attentive. The other seems hurried, as though it was finished on an arbitrary Tuesday afternoon. Consider what it truly takes to achieve that level of output. A whole residential block was closed. The roadway is lined with Nike vans. There are cameras, lighting setups, and crews everywhere. One of the biggest names in women's basketball was in the center of it all, back in the driveway where it all began. The block feels different all of a sudden, with cars parked in the driveway, kids eating breakfast inside, and regular families just 2 homes down. In an attempt to comprehend what they are witnessing, neighbors are peering through their blinds. Standing in a driveway with a full Nike production crew, cameras, and lighting equipment is Caitlin Clark. Such a configuration is not the result of chance. That degree of coordination conveys a message. Nike does more than just record material. They are indicating who gets the full Michael Jordan treatment and who doesn't.
Now, what I want to show you here is Asia Wilson's commercial, and I'm going to play Caitlin Clark's commercial right after that, just to show you the difference between the two. Let's take a look. Right? All Nike did for that is just take a song everybody knows and just put in new words. No creativity involved at all. They're just going to take a song that everybody knows, patty cake, whatever the fuck song that is, and they're just going to change some words and put Asia Wilson. Okay? And then we have a Caitlin Clark's commercial.
Hey, Caitlin! Can you make it from there? Hey, Kate.
Because there's a noticeable gap in this area. One athlete completes the tasks that must be completed before lunchtime. The other receives a long-term brand concept, a stacked cast, and a complete neighborhood shut down. People don't want to acknowledge how important that difference is. It's more than just a phrase put on a screen. It serves as the campaign's core. It is simple, quick to share, and easy to remember. People are already replicating it online, using images of driveways, parking lots, pavements, and gyms that all relate to the same concept. From here, are you able to make it? Are you able to go from there? Is it possible to make it from any location? That idea is closely related to what makes Caitlin Clark unique. Her range, her self-assurance, and her readiness to draw from sources that nobody else even thinks about. Now use that same perspective to the A.J. Wilson commercial. What's the lesson? What is the sentence that individuals are expected to repeat? After it's over, what comes to mind? The answer is unclear. A.A. Wilson is seen playing hoops while a well-known nursery rhyme is somewhat modified. It is not the focal point of a larger campaign framework. There is no hook that extends past the screen. There is no cultural element intended to exist outside of the advertisement. That highlights the timing. On Christmas Day 2024, Caitlin Clark's commercial will debut, precisely 40 years after Michael Jordan's first Nike Christmas commercial debuted in 1985. In that first advertisement, Jordan was seen with Santa Claus at the Air Jordan 1 set in Chicago, sporting the iconic black and red colorway. The most popular signature shoe line in sports history was introduced at that same moment. Nike is making a clear connection between Caitlin Clark and that past. The date is deliberate. The symbolism is deliberate. It's not a subtle message. They're sharing with you their perceptions on her worth, potential, and reach inside the brand's future.
Hey, Caitlin, how about from here?
Come on, guys.
She can't make it, man. No chance.
Caitlin, from me, don't let. You got it.
I'm not even gonna ask.
Hey, Caitlin from here might be impressive. Am I right?
Whatever, Che.
From right here.
From there.
From anywhere.
Now, if you can tell that one of these commercials actually took thought, planning, and the other one just took, let's just slap this together because she threw a fit about her shoe not coming out in time. Let's just throw this shit together and push it out there. I don't know what to.
However, there is a catch that makes things more difficult. The advertisement is powerful. There is a genuine buzz. The internet is rapidly gaining traction. The initiative is accomplishing its intended goals. However, it doesn't have a signature shoe. There isn't a product on the shelf for consumers to purchase right now. Late in December, we are witnessing a huge cultural movement take place in real time, with growing demand and nothing tangible for supporters to cling to just yet. In actuality, it is anticipated that the Caitlin Clark signature sneaker won't be available until late April or early May 2025. As a result, there is a 4 to 5 month delay between generating enormous demand and actually delivering the product. It wasn't a complete failure because Nike did release some items in conjunction with the commercial. Nevertheless, it is difficult to overlook the lost chance. Christmas arrived and departed with a lot of hoopla and no signature shoes, where the real money is kept on the shelves. Now take a closer look at what creativity in advertising actually entails. The Caitlin Clark commercial does more than just have a professional appearance. In a way that Nike has attempted to achieve for years, it seems new. The formula hasn't really changed in the past 10 years. A well-known athlete gives a performance. The song swells with inspiration. The swoosh flickers. Turn to black. Without making a lot of effort, this advertising disrupts that pattern. Humor is ingrained. The cameos are important. Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce are not just anybody chosen for influence. They have a genuine history with Caitlin Clark, which includes appearances on their show. Michael Che is employed because she has experience performing on Saturday Night Live. Because they are connected to her actual life rather than a marketing checklist, these moments resonate. That's the distinction between being creative and appearing creative. The narrative has a realistic vibe. It seems deliberate. Instead than adding noise, each appearance contributes context. Many of Nike's latest projects lack that level of consideration. Now contrast that strategy with the A.O. Wilson advertisement. The concept starts and finishes with word switching in a well-known song. There isn't a more comprehensive campaign, a deeper angle, or a multi-layered message centered on it. That isn't inventive. When a deadline approaches and the brainstorming session ends early, this is what occurs. This isn't a criticism on A.J. Wilson's athletic abilities. Her resume is self-explanatory. One of the most dominant athletes the league has ever seen, she has won multiple MVP awards. This has to do with innovative investing. A single campaign is designed to endure, spread, and ignite culture. The other appears, plays once, and then vanishes. You can learn more from that disparity than from any news statement. Simply put, this boils down to creative investment. The complete rollout was given to one athlete. The other got the bare minimum needed to declare that something had been done. Regardless of what the press releases say, this distinction is important because it demonstrates how much Nike regards its players. Statements regarding dedication to women's sports and expanding the sport can be published all day long, but advertisements reveal the true picture. The creative process is truthful. The scale of production is truthful. Budgetary decisions are truthful. It took months to plan Caitlin Clark's commercial. To discover the precise type of driveway that fit her scenario, location scouting was done. Schedules have to coincide with several well-known figures. It was necessary to create a concept from the ground up that felt unique, shareable, and durable enough to endure more than one airing. That's not a coincidence. Nike once made an investment of like nature with Michael Jordan. It indicates that this athlete will be expected to contribute to the brand's definition over the following 10 years. Every aspect of the execution leads in that way. Now contrast that with what A.A. Wilson was given. It appears that her commercial might have been finished in a week. Consider a well-known nursery rhyme. Video footage of basketball. Mix them together. Distribute it. That's the kind of project you do when the objective isn't to make anything remarkable, but rather to tick a box indicating the athlete received a commercial. This is where it becomes awkward. A.A. Wilson's frustration with the delay for her signature sneaker was understandable. She expressed her desire for the release to be handled appropriately, and she was deserving of that expectation. She is a champion, a multiple MVP, and one of the most powerful players in the league. However, Nike's reaction did not meet Caitlin Clark's level of creative attention. Rather of elevating the athlete, it seems like a hasty solution meant to calm the issue. Talent is not the source of that disparity. It results from the brand's investment decisions. The Caitlin Clark ad wasn't released in a low-key manner. It received the most exposure imaginable by airing during NBA games on ESPN and NFL games on Netflix. This ceases to be about timing when you include the Christmas Day placement and the 40-year callback to Michael Jordan. Nike is making it very evident who they think will lead their company into the future. That choice has consequences that extend well beyond a single campaign. Examine the implications for the WNBA market's future. Other companies are taking notice if Nike is prepared to openly display this degree of distance between two of the league's top players. Other sportsmen are also keeping an eye on things. The lesson is straightforward. Cultural effect is shaped by creative investment, which is determined by market value. The From Anywhere campaign is already gaining traction. On TikTok, others are replicating the idea. It's a catchphrase that only occurs when a company makes a commitment to a concept rather than merely using advertising space. Delivering a 30-second spot and moving on was not the goal here. Building something that exists outside of the commercial itself was the goal. Culture is produced in this manner, just creating an idea that others want to engage in, rather than just fulfilling a contractual requirement. Nike is more aware of this than the majority of businesses. They're not a nonprofit. They operate as a company. Where they anticipate a return, they spend. Caitlin Clark's commercial was more expensive. It demanded more creative risk, more cooperation, and more in-depth planning. Nike took that decision because they think she will sell at a level that warrants it. Conversely, the A.J. Wilson advertisement had less effect, needed less work, and carried less risk. Based on anticipated revenue, that is a business call. This is where Nike's problems begin. They create a narrative difficulty by making that gap so apparent. You cannot demonstrate such a glaring disparity in creative priorities while publicly claiming to be equally invested in every WNBA athlete.